Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile Scala, with the Crowdfunding Comics crew, Mr. Billy Tucci. We've got Blevins in the house. We've got Frank Amazing here. You know what, guys? We're back for a little The Week in Comics. And something special tonight, gentlemen. Special. Someone we've all been seeing, geez, I'd say maybe like the past year now, working on a couple campaigns on Indiegogo. Art is unbelievable. Blown us away. I mean, Billy, you and I have talked about this. We're like, holy crap, this guy's a beast.
He is. He's so great.
Beast. His art is incredible.
He's someone we've been talking to for a long time. Like, you got to come on our show. And he's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming, man. Long time coming. But we hope. But before I announce this gentleman, this giant of giants, just want to let everyone know that we missed you. We missed you over the weekend.
Scattered pictures.
If
you guys saw that show.
Oh, yeah. Good time.
We got kicked off the air, right?
Yeah, we got kicked off the air last week, with Humberto Ramos. It was freaking incredible.
Incredible show. Kicked off. Banned.
I know. It's unbelievable.
I cried a lot.
But the good news is Humberto will be back.
Yes.
We will have him back on. We're gonna, we'll get back into it with him. I was able to get the part 2 of that show back, so we're gonna upload that to the channel. Man, Frank Amazing. What has been happening? The phone lines I've been seeing are off the hook. A lot of requests coming in.
Yep. Emails coming in, tweets coming in. So just back into the game of booking guests and setting things up. So, we got some really good ones up this week, next week as well. And, just keep pushing forward, and in 2 weeks, May happens. So, even some people that are doing May, are reaching out to us, which is cool.
We're it's pretty cool. The schedule we got going on. It's pretty great.
I know we got some really big names lined up. We can't give away anything just yet, but just keep an eye out, guys, because we're going to have some more promos and stuff coming out. I know we got some really big names coming on the show that are just going to be talking. You're going to get industry, advice, stuff on their careers, things they've done. Some of them even have some crowdfunding campaigns that are going to be coming up and going on. But definitely want to give a shout out to our chat. We got King Crow in the house, Eric Huddles is in, Couch Doodles, Mr. Dan Frag is here, just a kid from Brooklyn's back, JP's in the house, Marvin, TJ James, Mr. Lee Ditzworth is here. Man,
nice.
It's a great show, guys. So
it's a who's who.
Good family. Our
core is here. Our core is here. And one more thing, guys. Yes, Chip, you know what, the mob seat? I think that may finally happen, brother. I think we're nearing the confirmation. And he has a campaign going on. It's live right now. So we shall see. But I just want to, again, if anyone's new to the show, please just take the time to click that subscribe button and to click the bell for notifications. This way when we're coming on live or if we're uploading some new content. So, gentlemen, without further ado, my palms are sweaty. My knees are weak. I'm about to throw up my mom's spaghetti. Everybody, welcome Mr. Rob Willis to the show.
What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing, Rob?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. Freaking excited to have you on. I know it's been a little while. We were talking before the COVID thing hit, getting you on for an artist spotlight, but then things got crazy, dude.
Things got crazy at the same time.
Yeah, I got really sick too. Yeah, that's right. We were both sick at the same time. We probably shouldn't have shared that coffee, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
He's like, geez, what the heck's this
My
guy?
friends still, I see people from the gym and the grocery store sometime, and they still come up to shake my hand and shit. And I'm like, the fuck, dude?
I see people at the gym when I walk by it to go to McDonald's, and I'm like, those people are nuts.
Well, that's me now. The gym's not open anymore. They shut it all down.
Yeah, it's all closed, man.
I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, but dude, like we've been, I've been watching your stuff. Once I found out a Shinobi Sasquatch, when you guys, I think we're maybe in like your first 3 weeks or so of funding, and I saw your work, man, and I was blown away. Your anatomy, your details, your inking, your line work. I mean, your stuff it's crazy. So the dynamics of it all. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you do this kind of exaggerated anatomy, which is really cool. Like, you're big guys, man. You do big guys really well. But then I started seeing some of your other work, like your women and stuff. I mean, it's all nuts. And the crazy thing is, man. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I haven't really had a chance to really branch out and draw anything else. These are just the characters that I have right now, but you'll see more. But I do like to exaggerate. If I didn't, I wouldn't be drawing comic books.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, can you kind of give us like your origin story and how how did you get into drawing? When did you get into comics? How did this all happen for you?
I'm going to skip a lot of the fun parts. But I love comic books. I've always been a comic book kid. It was kind of an escape for me. I grew up very poor in a really, really shitty neighborhood. And that's what I did. There was a little comic book shop about a mile up the road. I could walk there when I was a kid. And I'd go in there, once or twice a month, and I'd get a couple books if I had the money. Sometimes the shop owner would just give me books because he saw me in there all the time and he knew where I was from. So and he knew I liked to draw, so he would hook me up. And I was and that was it. And then I grew up and I had to get a job and do all kinds of other stuff and survive. And social media wasn't really a thing. I kind of wondered if I loved to draw comic books. I loved to play around with them, things like that. But I didn't foresee it ever, putting food on the table, I guess, back then. So I went on and I did other stuff. And then I just had like this epiphany about 2.5 years ago. And I was like, man, no matter what I do, I've ran pretty successful landscaping business. I've done tattoo work. I've done everything, actually. I mean, if there's any trade you can think of, I've probably done it. And no matter how good I was at it or how much I enjoyed it, it just something didn't seem right. I couldn't see myself doing it until I retired. And and the only thing I ever really wanted to do growing up, like some kids want to be a cop, some kids want to be a firefighter. Some kids want to be boxers. I don't know. I wanted to draw comic books. So here I am trying it out. And social media, Twitter and everything has given me the opportunity, and indie comics, because now you can try your hand. You can just, draw your stuff. Because I always wanted to create my own stuff. I didn't want to, there's a few characters I'd like to draw, but I didn't really want to get into drawing other already created characters. So with crowdfunding and everything, I could draw my own stuff, and I could see if people liked it, and see what kind of see what you're worth just from your own creativity. You're not getting recognized for drawing Wolverine or the Incredible Hulk or something like that, which you're going to get a lot of recognition for. So in a way that kind of sucks, but you kind of get to see what you're really worth coming from nothing with your own ideas. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Now, if you don't like, how did you get meet with these other creators? Were you posting work online? Or was it like word of mouth? Like someone's like, hey, I know this great artist. You should work with him and stuff like that.
It was all social media. Some Cal saw, a couple people saw some stuff I drew in the beginning. Like I was drawing my own book and I was like writing it as I drew it. And then I realized I didn't know enough about this topic to actually go forward with it. So I had come up with a few pages, and then I was like, I got so much research to do before I can actually write this. And so I was doing that, but I was also drawing little sketches of like Juggernaut or Wolverine or something like that and posting them just for fun. And I guess some people saw those, and a few people reached out to me, and then Cal reached out to me, and something about that story kind of stuck with me. There wasn't much to it in the beginning, but I saw what it could possibly be. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I didn't want to write at that time. I just wanted to draw, and he wanted to write. So we got together, and now you got Shinobi Sasquatch coming out.
and it looks fantastic. It's funny because, like, you know, me and Billy were talking because I've got my book going, you know, working on my book, and Billy's like, you know, man, you really should maybe consider not drawing it with your schedule, with your day job and your twins and this and that. He's like, just write it and maybe do a cover and do this and that. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but if anyone would draw it, man, that guy who's doing Shinobi, because I didn't know what your name was.
Oh my God,
at
he's
the
been
time.
talking about.
I was like, dude, the guy
man.
that does Shinobi Sasquatch is the only one I think that can do my character justice.
How big's the book?
Just 901 pages. It's a 48 page, but well, me and you, we messaged a little bit back and forth on that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like, I mean, I got to post some of this stuff here. I mean, I'm sure many of the viewers are familiar with your work. But I mean, it's just incredible. Everything about what you do.
Unbelievable.
You know, and you said a year and a half working on comics?
2018. So maybe 2 years. Around, yeah, it's about 2 years now. Almost exactly 2 years, actually.
So how did Shinobi Sasquatch actually come to be, or how, more or less, did you have any part in the writing, or was the script sent to you and then you imagined this character?
There was about, I got to create, I got to do the designing, and I don't know if I gave Cal much feedback on the story or anything like that, but he pretty much did all that. He had only a couple pages that he sent me. He had like a 5-page script, and it was really goofy at the beginning, but I saw potential in it. You know, it was kind of a joke, but I was like, you know, this is a joke, but it could be something. And I started, you know, drawing out the character designs, started putting down the first few pages of what he had written, and then he saw what I was drawing and was like, oh shit, this is you know, maybe I should make the script a little more serious. And he went back and rewrote a lot of what he originally had from what he said. And now it's an 80-page fairly dramatic, still a little goofy. There are some goofy parts to it. It's a humor though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but there's a lot of drama, a lot of fantasy, a lot of really cool stuff. I think everybody's gonna like it a lot. It's got a little something for everybody. It's not too adult, but it's not too childish. My next book's going to be very adult. I'll be writing that one, but it's fun to do the more mid-range, you know, kind of everybody, like a PG-13 type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dredge is your book? Yeah,
that's going to be it's going to be pretty twisted. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So Shinobi Sasquatch. I mean, you guys. I'm looking at it now, man. You guys are almost at $69,000, bro.
Are we?
Yeah. So you basically have hit. You've done like.
He's like shit.
$40-some thousand in demand.
Yeah, we've done most of our money was in demand. I think because we didn't get on any big shows till like we went on with Ethan a few times. We didn't do that until after the campaign month. I think we went on Malin's show. We went on John's show during the campaign, though, and that helped. And let's see. I know a lot of people talked about the book on their streams, even if we didn't do their shows. And there were some other shows we did. There was some. I can't think right now of whose shows they were exactly. It was a couple different people that are really cool. And they invited us on so we could talk about the book. I think the biggest show we had done was Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and then Malin's show was probably the second biggest. And then aside from that, it's just been posting artwork on Twitter and occasionally on Instagram. And how else? A lot of people talk about the book, though. I mean, there's a lot of people that have really given us a lot of good shout outs. And that's helped us a lot.
Well, I honestly think it is one of the best looking books on Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Even like the coloring and everything. I mean, it really is.
And that's another guy who nobody's ever heard of. Well, I mean, a few people, I'm sure, but he's fairly unknown, like me and like Cal. His name is Paul Billick, or 2D Spaceman, if you're looking for him on Twitter. And he's really good. Yeah, he's really good. I really appreciate all the time and effort he puts into those pages.
Was there any like thought in trying it on Kickstarter, or were you just 100% Indiegogo from the jump?
I didn't know what any of this stuff was. Cal handled all that. I didn't know anything about indie comics. I didn't know anything about. I didn't know anything about anything except drawing. That's it. So, I knew how to create. That was it. I didn't know anything about any of the platforms. And I think Cal, after I figured some of this stuff out, I think Cal asked if he, maybe we should try Kickstarter, too. And then I don't know what happened with that. I don't think we were against it, but for some reason we didn't go forward with it. I don't know if it's because it's not as fan friendly. Maybe the way the payments are set up or something. People have complaints about it. I'm not sure. I don't know.
That in-demand feature is killer.
Yeah.
That in-demand feature is killer for Indiegogo, man. Because think about it, right? Because like
is that not
no, that's not on Kickstarter.
Nope.
I mean, it's so, and I mean, if you can talk about the politics end of it, I don't look at it that way. As far as like the structure of Kickstarter and Indiegogo, that in-demand feature is killer. Because look, you can now limit what they can purchase, or you can set up any way you want. So while you're still finishing your book, you're still selling your book.
Yeah.
With Kickstarter, once you're done, you're done. You can't keep selling your book. Now you can roll it over, but I haven't really seen too much success with that. On a few of the campaigns I followed that rolled over, I didn't see too much success.
The in-demand makes a lot of sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
Because not everybody's going to hear about your book in a month. And as the book's being created, I'm posting work. Cal's posting stuff, and new faces are seeing this. And if there was no in demand, there'd be no way that they could get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of wasted time if you couldn't still buy that book.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of the creative process, like how long did it actually take you to get the book together from your side? Like I know you had like the book going until it ended, and then there was 10 months past that. Like, did you already have it all completely done during the in-demand time?
No, I'm still not done. There was
Good question,
we
buddy.
had these stretch goals that I didn't think we were going to hit. Honestly, I'm not going to lie and say it was planned out or anything, because we're like, hey, what if we get this much money? We'll do this. And if we make this much money, we'll do this. And some people were saying, oh, you'll probably get to there. And me and Cal were like, there's no way we're getting to there. So yeah, let's do this. If we get there, which isn't going to happen. And then we got there, and now I have to draw an additional 40 pages, pencil and ink, the additional 40 pages. And these pages that I'm drawing I'm not really speeding through them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not quick pages. So 40 extra pages was a lot to add on there, and it pushed the date back significantly. And it's really cool because I learned something, because I'll never do it again. I will never put additional pages on a campaign. I will not do that. That's the stupidest shit. The people have to wait too long to get their book. And I think everybody is pretty happy with a 45, 50 page book. You don't need 80 pages to keep somebody entertained.
You don't. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of extra pages. I mean, I know it's going to be worth it, but yeah, I mean, most people are like, oh, we'll add 6 pages or this or that, or some preview to maybe the next book or something else they're working on. So I mean, when do you think you guys are going to be fulfilling?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. What'd you say?
I was saying, when are you anticipating? What's your ETA on completion?
The goal is August. That's what's on the campaign right now, and I'm busting my ass to try to get there by August. So that's what we're hoping for. That's what we're shooting for.
The mob seat says, I bet it takes Rob longer to draw an arm than it takes Rob Liefeld to draw a page. Oh, Mob.
It probably used to.
Yeah. Actually, Mob, I think Mob mentioned too, he said that you could probably, let me see if I can find it just in case it's not. All right. Yeah. He says, I bet Rob could do Conan justice.
I'd love to do Conan. Yeah, I'd love Conan. Conan's awesome. Man.
That'd be something cool if you got a free minute. Sketch out a Conan.
Yeah, he should create his own Conan and make that money. Fuck regular Conan. No offense.
Oh, yeah.
Do your own book.
Well, yeah, I would definitely create my own barbarian character if I was going to do it. If I'm gonna draw it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
I was yeah, I don't know. I like drawing the big guys. I got a little doodle here. If you guys want to see it,
we want to see it.
It was a thumbnail for something. I don't think I'm supposed to show this off, and it's really just it's a scribble of mine. I drew it out in about I don't know 20 minutes just to get an idea of some lighting on something. But here's a little thumbnail for something.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude,
it's supposed to have.
That's really cool.
It's just some shit, but it's whatever.
It's unbelievable.
It's on the table in front of me, so.
It looks awesome for a rough man.
Yeah, kind of
unbelievable.
That's crazy. So, what are you into though? Like, what inspires you as an artist? Are you into like the barbarian type characters? Are you a Batman fan, Spider-Man? You know,
could be. The barbarians are cool because there's a lot of brutality there. I like drama. I like brutality. I like emotion. Anything that can inspire some emotion, even if it's like a love story, but it's got to be passionate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So something deep. I like deep. So
Rob Willis watches The Notebook.
Like penetrating.
I liked The Notebook, but
everyone liked The Notebook, huh?
I wouldn't draw The Notebook, but I liked The Notebook.
I can't quit you. Oh, I shouldn't.
I like. I'm a big fan. Style.
Yeah.
I love Frank Miller. I love his artwork. I'm not a huge fan of his art style, even though it's phenomenal. It's just not my. It's not my favorite. But his writing and his stories are amazing.
Mm-hmm. Vault says your shit looks pretty damn good compared to a lot out there.
It's a lot out there. Are you kidding?
How are you taking to it though? How are you taking to getting a lot of this? Like, dude, you're incredibly talented. All this stuff.
I'm still like in my house every day, and I don't pay attention to a lot of shit that people say on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like Twitter is so full of bullshit that you gotta. I mean, even though I know a lot of people are probably being sincere, it's hard to take a lot of the stuff you see on social media seriously, even if it is a compliment or something like that. It's I need to, once I get out there, once the book's published and I'm doing another book and maybe I can get out to and actually be doing something with people face to face. You know what I mean? Then it'll be different. Then I think it'll hit me a little different. But right now I'm the same dude, just sitting in his house, drawing pictures all day, dealing with the kids. And looking through his phone every now and then.
So you're doing this full time, Rob?
Yes.
Awesome.
Good for you.
So that's I take on a few side projects to pay the bills. Luckily, now that's one thing that I've noticed. The amount of money people are willing to pay me has gone up, so that's a good sign. And it's definitely helpful to do this full time. I'm actually able to afford to do this full time now. That was a big question of mine, whether I'd be able to do that or not when I first started. And it seems to be working out pretty good. So,
but you also put so much work into it. You know what I mean? You deserve it.
I have fun with it. I have a blast with it, man. I love it. It's there's nothing I'd rather be doing. I get lost in it. It's like you create your own little world, and you get to do whatever the hell you want on that page.
Yeah.
Well, what's nice too is like since this is, you're mainly working with indie creators, you're doing the indie scene, so like you are kind of like your editor, right? You're the only one that's breathing down your neck. So I mean, it's fun because you're really into it. You don't have someone behind you or over your shoulder barking at you like fun. You need 10 pages done a day.
Yeah, Cal's pretty good about leaving me to do my thing. Though he does his check-ins and stuff, but it's very relaxed. As far as like you said, somebody breathing down your neck, telling you, no, this needs to be done this way or that way, and it needs to be done by this time. I'm not expected to draw a comic book in a month.
Yeah,
which is I feel like I'm that I would benefit from, though. I'm losing out on something there, not having that. I kind of wish I had an editor, some kind of boss that's like, yo, this needs to be done now. But I'd have to quit because there's no way I could do that because not all my kids are in school. I wouldn't be able to make that work right now. In about 3 or 4 years, I'll actually be able to have a good, 5 or 6 uninterrupted full days of work time, from there on out, because the kids will be in school. I don't have to babysit while I'm sitting here trying to draw, because every now and then, someone shits in their diaper or needs to be fed or needs to take a nap or hurts themselves or something, and that means I got to get up from what I'm doing and go take care of it. So it can be a distraction, and it slows me down big time.
Now, TJ James asks, what other genres would you'd be interested in working in?
I don't know. Any. I mean,
is it more based on the story for you? Read a script, and if it's something you're feeling, you could probably work with it.
It depends on the writing. It depends on the story. If it's good, if it's creative and it's well put together, I would definitely take a shot at drawing it. Even if it's not, something I would consider my lane. If it's put together well, I would definitely do it. Yeah.
Now,
are you hoping? Like, I know you just jumped into this just not too long ago, but now that you've seen that people are accepting your work and like the word of your work is getting out, and you have been praised, whether or not you believe it or not, like there's been a spread of Rob Willis work out there. Like your work is getting attention from a lot of people. Are you now thinking, hey, look, man, I really would like to maybe try to get a job working in one of these mainstream things? Or are you like, man, maybe I just want to do my own stuff? Or are you hoping to maybe go to a convention with your portfolio and be like, hey, look, I'm awesome, hire me?
No. Yeah, you know what? And I mean, if I may answer that, you don't have to do that. Because there's a point, if you see, and I get it and I was talking to one of our coming on this week about that, is that you look at a company like DC Comics, right? DC Comics, Rob, I think they make over $350 million a year in sales, right? Yeah. You look at Marvel, which is a publicly traded multi-billion-dollar corporation, right?
Yeah.
That they, after 2 weeks of not selling their comics in comic shops, they look down upon and they think so little of their creators, or they see them even worse. They look at them as less than worthy. You know what I mean? They tell them all to stop working and they're not going to pay them.
Yeah, that's terrible.
These multi-billion-dollar corporations or multi-million-dollar corporations are furloughing staff and artists after 2 weeks.
That's sad, man. These people
and they're also, these are now executives that people, people publishing it, people in the publishing part, people in the art department as well. This is how little and how little they value their creative talent.
Well, the money has to go to the shareholders.
What?
The money has to go to the shareholders. There was an article that Disney's laying off like 100,000 employees, yet a report shows that all the shareholders are still getting their 1.5 million or something. They're going to get theirs. Whatever they're getting for their quarterly stuff.
And I'm telling you, because I'm in a bad mood today, I got to tell you. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm really bad. I did a lot of work today, but I'm going through some stuff with the book. you know, with this coronavirus and you know, my whole year is that we wanted to do, and I was talking to Jimmy Palmiotti, which he kind of put me in a good mood a little bit, is that I'm not doing any shows really. You know, the shows have put off because we had planned to do 3 more crowdfunding campaigns this year. But because of this whole coronavirus thing, who's closed, you know what I mean?
Smash.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of the printers are closed. A lot of people are closed, and it just sucks. You know what I mean? I gotta tell you, I get pissed off when I go to the supermarket today and I see everybody wearing masks and stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm really pissed off that no one's talking about the reason why we're in this position and where this thing came from. But anyway, so that's that. But the thing with me is that Jimmy said, well, if you're not doing shows, and my wife said the same thing, if we're not doing, you don't have to do the conventions, you're getting stressed out about that. And the conventions are a big part. And you'll see, Rob, you start hitting those shows, you have your books, you have your prints. If you can do a commission or 2, you will kill it. I'm telling you. And it's great. And you get to be out there and you get to see your friends and all the fans that have become family. You know what I mean? I love it. I get so inspired by it. But
and you won't have to reach out. You won't have to reach out to those guys because if you keep doing this, man, they're gonna come. They'll just come to you.
And they will come to you and let them come to you. And you say, "This is what I want. You want to sell books? You want to make money? This is what you want. Or do you want to put out another Snowflake and Safe Space? Yeah. You want to put a more New Warrior crap that no one's gonna buy? You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, this is what people want to buy. People look at your art, bro. That's what they want. That's what's going to sell. And again, for a company, a multi-billion-dollar company like Marvel Comics is telling their creators, and they look down upon them so much, right? If Marvel makes more money than DC, and DC's making over $350 million a year, and they've got this money, and they're telling these people have families, you know what I mean? Just put your pencils down. These people devote all of their creativity to characters that aren't even their own. And let me tell you, it's not worth it. It ain't worth it. Don't even bother with. Let them come to you. When they come to you, tell them
he's running hot, folks. He's running hot.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Enough of this, you know. And like I said, it gets me into bed because I'm a nice guy and I want to be a nice guy and everything like that. But I steam. You know what I mean? That's why I get cold sores. I had to get prescription medicine, not get cold sores, because that's how I get stressed out. Because I don't really bitch, I don't complain, but it steams. You know what I mean?
Her name's Steam. What?
Her name is.
Need more of that. Need more Billy.
Anyway, but like I said,
this is what we need.
But I'm serious, man. You know, that's the thing is you do your book. You do your own you have your own creative thing, because everything I own right in this room, everything I own in my home that I can afford to send my son to college next year, all this stuff all came
a good feeling
from
DJ.
More wine, Deb.
More wine, 12 more Stellas.
Yeah, I know. I got some Blue Points. I'll get them. I got some wine. I'm finished. No, this is only my second glass of wine. I had my wife and I cooked. This is the first time I ever cooked. I got to be honest with you. And I breaded the pheasant cutlets. So I went pheasant hunting last month, and we killed a bunch of pheasants and froze them up, and then we made cutlets out of them. You know, like chicken cutlets, but pheasant cutlets. And but I never cooked. You know, I had an Italian mother, and then I had a beautiful girlfriend who became my wife and always cooked for me. I never had to cook. I don't cook. I make cereal, you know. So, but I cooked today with it, which was kind of nice.
Enjoy cooking, Billy.
I think I enjoy cooking too, Nile.
Do you like comics?
I love your hunting posts, by the way.
Do you guys like it? Dude, I love it, man. I went hunting yesterday, man. I'm on a nuisance permit, and we got the call because of Lyme disease. Now it's the spring, and the hospitals can't handle a big bunch of people coming in for Lyme disease. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thank you, Adino. Another Gindaloon, another Italian. So
Don's one moment away from taking a hammer to someone.
I know, but Vol, but Rob, am I wrong? Blevins, am I wrong? Well, Blevins, we muted him. But Frank, am I wrong?
Blevins?
You know, a friend of mine told me. I muted myself. A friend of mine told me, who's a great multi-Eisner Award winner. We've talked about on the show. He passed away a few years ago. And I was really upset because I pitched the second Sergeant Rock. And I had the marketing director crying when I told him the story. This is a follow-up to The Lost Battalion, which was the biggest selling war book in 30 years or so. And
gorgeous book.
Oh, thank you. And I told it to them, and for one reason or another, someone's like, "Yeah, that's a little too heavy, so we're not going to do that." And I remember I was so upset, And I remember him telling me, my buddy and I were drinking. We're at San Diego and we're sitting there at the bar, having a few pops, and he's like, Billy, he goes, Marvel and DC will break your heart. Because you love these characters so much. We grow up reading them or liking them, or you get into them, you research them, and they don't care about you. And they proved it this time by not caring about you, by any of us. You know what I mean? Unless you're like some of the guys like Scott, and a lot of money for them, and rightly so. But aside from them, Scala.
Look at that.
Ooh,
Unbelievable.
Nice.
Look at that line work. Look at that line work, guys. Unbelievable.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, that was
I
a fun one. That was a book that couldn't be inked. It had to be
Whoever drew that is going to go places.
Oh yeah, that face, that smile.
I think he might.
That's
Whoever drew that has definitely got a.
I stole it from his staircase.
Now that's when they're talking about. I think they're surrounded. I think he said, they got surrounded. He's like the poor bastards, and he laughed.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
No, the thing is, Rob, like I
it
said,
makes me mad too.
Concentrate on your own things. Don't want to draw Conan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Create your own barbarian character if you want to do that. You know what I mean? You do your own stuff with your friends. You work with your friends, you know what I mean? Because you'll make way more money doing Indiegogo than if you will working for Marvel and DC.
Dude,
that's what I was noticing. Like if you're
look at that right there. The thing you did for Ethan. Dude, you got nothing to worry about. I'll stand right there. You probably are the best artist on Indiegogo right now. That's my opinion.
I think I would say I would just.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good artists, but there's a different level here.
You got Frege dropping.
Frege's fantastic. Dan is
Frege's
unbelievable.
Frege is on Indiegogo. I thought he wasn't. He's
not yet. There you go.
This was the first hat he made. I got this one. I just happened to get to hang out with him right after he got this made, and he gave me the first hat.
Dude, where do you live?
Miami.
Miami. How'd you get a haircut?
Huh?
Just buzzed that.
How'd you get a haircut? Did you cut your own hair?
I just shaved that shit, man.
Oh, all right.
I've been shaving my head since I was.
We can't get haircuts up here.
Nah, you can't go out and get a haircut. Yeah, you can't go out and do nothing. Well, they opened the beaches back up.
Where the hell is Fragaboom? Wasn't he in the chat?
He
was earlier.
He was.
Where's Fragaboom in, man?
I don't think he's here.
He's there.
He was.
The only reason I asked that question, being someone who's a fanboy already, like growing up, you have it kind of set in your mind that, you would love to be part of those two big companies or three big companies. You want to have that. And it's not, really, it's not until I started talking with Billy and started finding out about all this, independent crowdfunding. Like, there's a lot of people that don't even know about that. So it's hard to, say, oh yeah, like I always wanted to make my own book and print my own stuff up. It's just, did you have that idea in your mind that you would love to do something for the big two or big three?
I wanted to work for Image, not DC or Marvel. See, I used to get books because of the art. I never really read the stories. I couldn't keep up with them to follow them. You know what I mean? I couldn't keep up with the whole storyline. So I used to just really admire the artwork, and I always liked Image because their colors were on point. You get Marvel books and the colors would be off. It was all flat back then too, which I didn't mind too much, but the colors wouldn't a lot of times wouldn't even line up with the line work and stuff like that. And that kind of distracted me. But when Image came out and Leffold and McFarlane and Lee and Silvestri and Keown and all those guys started doing their own books, that's when I really, I liked comics before then, but I really fell in love with them. I went over the top, like addicted to them at that point in time. And it was always a dream of mine to work for Image. But, Image has changed a lot since then. But I was speaking of Dan Frege, I was talking to him and I was like, I was thinking about pitching a book and I want to get it published and put on the shelves one of these days. You know what I mean? Not just crowdfund. And I was like, I'm thinking about going to Image. And he was the one, he talked me out of it. And he used to work for Image. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he told me a lot of stuff I didn't know about what it is to print, because it's still creator owned. It's your own book, but what it is to go through them and what a pain in the ass it is and how much you end up losing out. He was like, man, you just stick with crowdfunding. And I listened to him. So he knows what he's talking about.
Dude, you can always then take your books when you're done with them, and then you send them the image,
Boom!
What?
I heard
Did you guys get your haircuts today?
You say my name 3 times and I show up like Beetlejuice.
Boom!
What's happening, Rob?
I was just watching you on the Nile show. I said what's up like 3 times. Nobody said hi to me, man.
Shit!
Jesus Christ, let me get the hell out of here.
Oh
man,
that's messed up.
I got to hang out with this dude last month before all the crazy shit went down. One cool dude.
As it was going down.
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys have a good time? Do you have a few pops or something?
Nah. We just went. I had this convention in Miami. Basically, the last convention I've been to. And Rob was there, sat next to Mark Morales. It was cool.
Boys, my friend is having a convention next year. We did it. It's called the Miami Con. And it was it's called the Miami Con. It was it's an old school con at the Pullman Hotel near the airport in Miami. And it's like free admission to get in. And it's a great show. Me, Jimmy, Amanda did it last year. Debbie. We're doing it again next. I think it's next January or next February. But if you're up for it, Rob, it's a great show. I'll talk to my boy. Get you a table, man. Maybe get Brag it down. Brag up.
Are they gonna have it? Are they gonna be? Are they still gonna have it? Are you in Miami?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm in Hollywood.
You're in Hunting, man.
Man, I'm in New York, man.
Okay. Yeah. Man.
No, but they are having it next year. It's next February, so
next
they'll have
year. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. If we should definitely, if I could talk to you about that.
Yeah, we
see
will.
How everything's going around that time. I'd love that.
Nice.
I
mean, Dan. I mean, this guy's art's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is, man. I have a page. I have an original, and I look at it daily, and I'm blown away at the excellence.
It's inspiring.
Rob knows how I feel about his work, man.
Yeah.
And he's an incredible dude too. His philosophy's awesome. Billy, I heard that you are a weak man and cannot cook.
Dude, we need a weak man. I'm not a weak man.
What are you talking about? He even got to bread the fillet.
Dude, I cooked today, man.
You know what though? You did kill the thing. You did. You went out and killed it.
I kill it. I dress it. Right. I kill it. I dress it. I clean it, and I give it a meat.
You know what?
He slams it on the table.
Have you heard the Mark Twain quote about where men would be without women?
No, where?
Mighty scarce.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. Anyway, so I learned. No, I cooked it. We cooked the
sounds like something a woman would say.
So you cook them like chicken cutlets?
Yeah. So what we do? So I'll give you the secret if you guys don't mind out there. So I got the pheasant breast, right?
Zoom in on them, gentlemen.
No,
yeah. Let's look at that.
That's it. Let's get this. We need to focus. Look at his eyes.
So here he goes. Listen, everybody. So we take the pheasants, right? This is the breast. This is a white meat. So I breasted them out, and then I cut them up. You get that line in the chicken breast. It's a natural line, right? Cut the natural lines. Separate the breasts. You got them. Then if it's a little thick, smash it down a little bit, right? Chicken breast a little thick, right?
Smash your meat.
Macaboom.
Smash it.
Macaboom. So then we get the 4C Italian seasoning. That's a secret. 4C Italian seasoning. You get flour. So she gets a little tray of flour, right? And she puts salt and pepper in the flour. She dices it up, mixes it up. I did that. And then I used eggs. I used chucker eggs because when I went pheasant hunting, they had there was a farm that had chuckers. So they said, "Hey, you want some eggs?" I'm like, yeah. So I had about a whole bunch of chucker eggs. They taste.
What's a chuck?
I'm sure it's a bird.
Partridge. It's like a big partridge.
Partridge. Okay.
Yeah, it's a chucker.
You really do live in the country, don't you?
Yeah, I live on Long Island. I live out by the Hamptons, man. P. Diddy lives near me, bro.
Were his chuckers?
Not to brag.
P. Diddy ain't hunting. I'll tell you that. Anyway. So we did, we got the chucker eggs, got our 3 chucker eggs, right? Put that in a bowl, stirred up all the eggs, 4 of them. Got the 4C breadcrumbs, right? So I dipped it in the flour, right? Took the breast, dipped it in the flour, dipped it in the eggs, put it in the thing, gave it to Debbie, and she fried them up. Wow. Some asparagus.
That sounds good.
So you're like a sous chef.
Boom.
Prep cook.
I got some.
Billy's a jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades and master of none.
What it tastes like.
Billy, did your true love give you a chucker on the first day of Christmas? I'm just asking.
Oh shit!
And a pear tree, a large pear tree.
That sounds cool though. Oh man, my girl gave me a chucker.
I'm asking for a friend. I promise.
Damn.
What did it taste like? Is it gamey? Like what was it like?
It's unbelievable. Pheasant is unbelievable. Real juicy. You know, like chicken get a little dry sometimes. Chicken breasts. Oh my god, so great.
Is it a darker meat? Like is the breast a darker meat?
A little darker. Yep.
Nice.
Hey, look, you don't even have to hunt where I'm at, Billy. Look, I go outside every morning. I live in South Miami, like city, not city, but it's a busy area, a busy neighborhood. I mean, but I live off in this little cut right off the highway, and every morning I can go out in the front yard or the backyard, and there's fucking chickens everywhere, man.
Chicken
just running free out here. Chickens and ducks running free all through the neighborhood all day, all night. They break into the backyard. One did it today because the animals out there, and they lay their eggs in the backyard. So a chicken just laid like 5 eggs in the backyard, and it's like a little backyard. It's think Miami. You know what I mean?
Well, keep them chickens. The ducks you can't kill until duck season. You can't. Duck hunting's fun, man.
Leave them alone. But there's every other day there's a new little litter of I don't know what you call it. I guess
chicks,
a gaggle or something. I don't fucking know because there's geese and there's all. But there's little babies running around everywhere, following their mom, and the ducks or the geese or whatever. They're trying to fight you because they're protecting their kids. It's you actually get kind of dangerous.
You got like gang wars down there.
Yeah, dude. You got swans. You ever got attacked by a swan,
especially
man?
With the
Swans are messed up.
They're getting real bold because there's not people outside. They're gonna take.
Oh wait. Here's a funny thing. That Mob Seat said. Hang on, let me pop this in. All right, so don't bite down into the buckshot. So it's not buckshot, it's birdshot.
Ooh.
So here's the thing. So we'll have game dinners, right? So we'll have game dinners when we do pheasant hunting or duck hunting with my buddies. And my wife will bring out the real fine china. We'll have it in the dining room and all this. And if you get a BB, which you do, you got to do a shot. It's kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. Yeah. Probably to take away the pain. I ate some wild rabbit before that had been hit with some shot, and I bit right down into that thing. That's no fun.
Oh, I never do that. I usually feel it. I never broke a tooth or something or no.
Oh, yeah. That's why I would say you need the shot. It's like numb that shit out.
Yeah, word, bro. Word.
Man, I just want to state that in 10th grade, I punched a swan right in the mouth.
Shut up. You did
I swear on my life.
Dude, that's a bold statement, man.
Wait, that was you who did that?
When I was living in Sumter, South Carolina, they have this area, this kind of like park called Swan Lake. And I was throwing bread to all the swans as we walked around it. And I ran out of bread, and the swan just wouldn't leave me alone and started like pecking at my leg and stuff. And I just punched it right in the mouth.
Word,
bro. Did it just like wipe the blood off his face and like chase you?
Yeah, he called his buddies and we had a dance battle. It was awesome.
Nice. Anyway, so I'm sorry to get off subject. Anyway, so Fraga, we're talking about the whole thing about create your own stuff.
Absolutely. I just got done, like Rob was talking about, Donald and Death Metal Hero and I were talking, and Malin came in too. We were talking about Stephen Platt, and I got to sidebar a little bit talking about Black Flag, which I have launching in 4 days. And basically, when I created those characters back in '94, I made a team of characters that I wanted to draw all the time. You know, the big giant gorilla, the army guy, the magician, the sexy anime girl, the weird contorting alien. I feel like now is the time to do that because I heard you guys talking on the chat earlier, and I can say that this is just how it is on a corporate level. When I was working for Mattel for 5.5 years, and I was basically the pilot of their animated content on Monster High, Ever After High, Max Steel, Hot Wheels. I'd go home every day having to have been creative on all these other properties and still feeling that emptiness inside. Mm-hmm. and that I ended up creating the book The Grave out of that necessity. Like, I just need to make something, and it feels so much better when it's for you. You know, you'd be willing to take. I mean, obviously we need to make a living doing it, but I'd rather make less money working on my stuff than on other people's stuff. And the fortunate thing with crowdfunding, though, is the tables have turned. You know, I can make a living, help create jobs. That's like one of the main things I'm trying to do. The more money my book makes, the more people I can hire to make more books. The more people I can hire to make more books. You know, and also give people the opportunity, like, come work on these things, but also develop your own stuff, and let's get you a book. You know, I'm all in on creating. Absolutely,
man.
So are you looking at even like publishing some other creators under you, or just more kind of like help supporting,
especially new people? Like, one of the things that I have, it's not even a complaint. It was just an observation about some of the early image guys' careers. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking the established guys. I'm talking about guys like me or Murat Michaels or Ollie Garza, Brett Booth, the guys that came in new. Guys like Jim Lee, Eric Larson, Todd McFarlane, they got to cut their teeth on books that nobody saw. You know, like, how many of you guys have seen Stephen Englehart's Coyote by Todd McFarlane, or Infinity Inc. by Todd McFarlane? Like, most people didn't even have him hit their radar till Hulk, but he was a good 20 comics in before anybody ever knew who he was. Whereas a guy like me, my very first published work sold 1 million copies. So 1 million people are looking at my worst shit, right? So I feel like I want to provide a place for new up and comers to work on stuff and hone their skills and get better. And I can be there with my 30 years experience to help guide, and then send them off, push them out of the nest, and say, "Go fly, be free." You know, so it's more about that, creating jobs, nurturing creative people, helping develop. Some of my favorite stories, like guys like Carl Potts, that helped develop Jim Lee. You know, guys like Mike Carlin, who used to help develop the new artists. That doesn't exist in editorial anymore. You know, editorial used to be. They used to be your friend. They used to want to make you better. They weren't just, you know, a middleman keeping track of schedules and towing the company line. They actually cared about the artist. So I'm all about that.
So they don't do that anymore. I know Silvestri. I'd heard about it before, but Jimmy Reyes had David Finch on the other day, and he was talking about how, and Mark was also talking about that day, how they went to that little camp that Silvestri had to try and get them primed for the industry. Yeah, and he would mentor them. Like, do they do that anymore?
I don't know anybody that does that.
Well, they do like the talent search. Top Cow does.
Yeah.
They still do that because they just wrapped that up. Was it February? I think it was the end of February they wrapped up.
The odd thing I think about that is and this isn't a knock on anybody's status or anything, but I'm noticing that Top Cow hires a lot of artists outside of the country because of the lower rates.
Yeah, well, the numbers aren't there.
Right.
You know, it's hard. It's tough to pay someone who wants, you know, $350 a page to pencil and ink. You know, and that's not a whole hell of a lot of money. It's a good rate, but if you're selling 5,000 comics,
right?
You know, you're losing money on it.
Well, and you know, and this is the thing that this is the drum I've been beating, and why I believe crowdfunding is the future. One of the problems with the direct market right now, outside of the fact of the situation that we have, is even when it was quote unquote healthy, you had to get into the Diamond catalog, which means you're in there competing against. You're basically a needle in a needle stack in hopes that someone will order your book. Yeah. You're also competing with a retailer's budget. If Marvel and DC decide, oh, this is the month we're doing the multi-part crossover where they got to buy 50 copies to get this unique Alex Ross variant, all of a sudden that retailer's money's strapped. So you're dealing with all of those factors. And then on top of all of that, you're only going to get 45% of cover to pay for everything.
That's 45 is a good rate.
No, but
you get 40%.
Yeah, but here doing crowdfunding, if it's your creation and you're putting it all in, you get 100%.
That's right.
You know, and you set your terms and your rate. And you know, I had a series where I interviewed a bunch of artists. I'm going to air them on my show, but I had the pleasure of interviewing Mike Mignola and Mark Bagley on the same day. And what's interesting is I asked the same questions of all my guests. Rob's been a guest on my show, so he's gone through the series of questions. What was interesting about Bagley's point of view is he was very much about being a workhorse, getting a page done a day, getting up, doing the work, having a schedule, getting it done, and just basically being there like clockwork, right? And that was the kind of artist he is. But then talking to Mignola, he's talking about, like, as an artist, we want to do our best work. And that sometimes you don't want to compromise your stuff by imposed deadlines. Obviously, we want to have deadlines, and we don't want to be one of those artists that meanders through perfection. But if you have a point of view where you want to make the best thing you can make a career on that, right? Yeah. And Mignola made a career on being a guy that takes a little longer, but it's so solid, it's infallible. Where these daily guys, you can say, hey, there's a volume there. It's quantity versus quality, right? The thing I like about crowdfunding is a guy like me, a guy like Rob, a lot of other guys, to do the work that we want to do, sometimes that page is an 18-hour page. And if we were trying to do, when I was working at Marvel, working on Black Panther, I was trying to do these 18-hour pages and only really delivering 4 pages a week. And I got removed from the book, and not because I was doing bad work. It's because I wasn't fast enough. And I wasn't fast enough because the kind of work I want to do takes time.
Yeah.
Right. And crowdfunding allows that. So you can actually be your best, make more money, and drive the ship. And if you crash the ship, it's on you. Right. And that's freedom. To me, that's freedom. And that excites the hell out of me.
Oh, definitely.
And let's face it, Rob can draw a page a day. Rob can draw a book a week if he wants. You can draw a book a week, but we don't want to do that. We're not Jack Kirby drawing 2 pages a day and getting on the 5:15 train to go back up to New Rochelle. We're a passion. We are students of the trade. We are fans of comics. We want our art to be the very best. Those guys, was a paycheck.
Yeah,
you gotta really simplify your work to put out those kind of numbers like that. To a page a day, 2 pages a day. That's what kills me though. Like, there's artists that can draw with a simplified look, and it's still just as captivating as some of these guys that draw extreme detail. And I'm really kind of jealous of those guys.
So am I.
Yeah. They can put it down. It ain't nothing too crazy, but it's still like you have to look at it. It's like
Darwin Cook, you know?
Yeah, Darwin was like
Darwin had that. It was like a simplified style, but I mean, God, it was freaking captivating.
I feel that way about Sean Gordon Murphy's stuff too.
Yeah.
You know? But that's the thing. It's almost a curse.
Anthony Marks has that style too.
I don't know his work. But I feel like it's almost a curse, right? Because the idea, like, of course I can draw if I decided I wanted to. This is what happened in that Marvel situation. My editor said, we're taking you off of Panther. We like you, so we're going to give you this book. They literally let me go and rehired me in the same breath, right? They gave me a Weapon X fill-in to do. And I was so disappointed in myself. I said, damn it, I'm going to do an 8-hour page. I'm going to get up. I'm going to start it and finish it. That's that. I turned in that, and my editor said, hey, where's all that Frega detail that we love? And you just go, well, shit, you can't. It's like you compromise for time, and you feel like a hack, and then you give your all, and then you feel like an asshole because you're not drawing fast enough, and that's crushing.
Yeah,
you know, and that it shouldn't be that way. We didn't get into the business to feel crushed. We got into it to be
like an
free.
assembly line, right?
Yeah, we want to manifest our imaginations and share it with the world and have them be just as excited as we are. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Well, I mean, it's a good point that you make too, because like with crowd, I mean, and especially for professionals out there that do have a fan base and stuff. I mean, when you guys doing your crowdfunding books, you can see the quality is up there, and you know people don't mind waiting. I personally don't mind waiting for these books because you know the quality's on par, because it's being done back with passion again. You know, the creators own everything, and what's great is like, yeah, the book may be taking long, but most of you guys are putting out updates regularly. You know, people know you're working on the book. It's not like, man, it's been 2.5 months. It's like, you know, 2.5 months past its due date. What's going on? You know, and unfortunately, there are some creators out there that, like me and Billy, you know, we've talked. We're like, shit, dude, I backed something like 4 years ago. I still haven't got it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm.
And then that's especially when the people make a lot of money. Then you know they're not doing it because you know. Then you look at they expected to make. Say somebody made 40 grand. You know, they raised 40 grand, right? It's a lot of money. And they asked for 20 grand, but they raised 40. But you know, in reality, they wanted to raise 100 grand. So they feel that book's not worth me doing.
Wow.
And they're just going to take their sweet ass time. And again, now it's going on 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean?
Wow.
What's it called?
Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you,
it's speculation.
Speaking about the
It
books,
is speculation. You're right. Sorry.
Like in the case of something like Shinobi Sasquatch, I'm anticipating that thing. I backed it last year, but I'm anticipating it almost like a blockbuster movie. Like I don't mind waiting. It's kind of like, fuck yeah, August is coming, and like I don't mind the wait. It's exciting. That's a great question, Mob Seat, and it's because there was formula.
And they also had a very long lead time. So they started that book a year before it was scheduled to come out. Secondly, though, they also had great inkers, and their styles aren't really super detailed.
Not at all.
They did that on purpose.
You can get a nut. You can get a nut. You can get a beast like Perez doing crazy panels. George Perez could do that, and John Romita. But they also have a great lead time. But John Romita is a great friend of mine, and so is George. But that's all those guys do.
Right.
So they get up at 7 and they're like Bagley. They hit that table and they're done with a page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the afternoon or so. They just work, but they also know what they're doing. They are consummate professionals, but they also have great inkers too.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. When I did Heroes for Hire, I had Tom Palmer, and Tom's like, "You're doing too much work. You're doing all the work for me. You don't even need me to ink this."
Right.
You're Tom Palmer. And then he would send me John Buscema inks, John Buscema pencils and Kirby pencils.
Is that how you say his name?
Who?
I thought it was Buscema.
I think it's Buscema.
Oh shit! I've been saying it wrong all of my life.
I never met John Buscema. So.
It's Billy Tucky. It's one of those things that just mess things up.
Isn't it Steve Buscemi, the artist? The actor? Yeah, I think it's John Buscema. I think everyone calls him Buscema. See, Fraga, aren't you Italian, Fraga?
I'm Portuguese. I'm Portuguese. Uh-oh.
What the fuck was that, dude?
You don't glass? I got a fragile thing going on here.
Is that broken glass?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say another great thing about these crowdfunding comics is like all the creators are accessible. Like you can actually reach out and you can talk to them and you can actually ask them questions about their books. Whereas with the mainstream, you really can't do that unless you're at a convention or something. And even then, it's very few and far between.
Yeah. And good luck getting a hold of a mainstream creator. It's very tough.
Yeah, no doubt.
You good on that one, Billy?
Yeah. Is that to me?
Comment here?
I'm the most successful guy around. What are you talking? I talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Like a homeless person.
He is.
He does.
Yeah, he's like a homeless person.
We're finding him at a con.
I hung out with Blevins 10 years ago or 15 years ago at a wizard show, and he got mad at me. I forgot that we were all supposed to go duck hunting.
It was a whole day.
There they are, the kumquats.
Dude, you guys got to tell me about the kumquats. What is going on with
Fill Billy in on the kumquat.
You got to fill me in on the kumquats.
Okay, so Mike S. Miller was doing one of his walk and talk videos talking about the future of comics being digital and how people will be willing to pay for digital, that they won't steal them because Napster and Apple Music is a perfect example, and that he's talking about how stealing is wrong. And then in the middle of his stealing is wrong speech, he goes, kumquats. And he starts to sing this little sing song, and he's acting like he's come upon this kumquat tree, but then he breaks out a Ziploc bag, a premeditated Ziploc bag, and starts to steal his neighbor's kumquats.
Oh, wait, okay, wait. Wait a minute.
I applaud the person that named
He's going for a walk, but he's going for a walk in his neighborhood or in the woods?
In his neighborhood.
So he's just going to walk down the street, like Dan. Me and you going to walk down the street.
Yeah, but I think he went to go steal kumquats. Okay.
So wait a minute. He took
He's pirating kumquats.
He took kumquats off of his neighbor's tree. And said,
Yes.
Kumquats, but he had a Ziploc bag with him.
Yes.
Shut up.
And then he started, as he's picking them, he's doing, because he made a video, and he's going, kumquats, get in my face, and then he's like singing a song. And then he proceeds to continue about how stealing is wrong, and then says, kumquats, nobody wants these. He. Right? So the memes started. So, we have drawn and quartered, and then so we all bought a bunch of kumquats, and, because we paid for it.
Did you buy them?
We bought them from Melissa's Kumquats on Amazon. So if you too want 2 pounds of kumquats, you can get them. Look up Melissa's Kumquats. They're delicious.
Are they good?
They're fantastic.
What is a kumquat?
What's a kumquat taste? Rob, you eat kumquats, Rob?
I have no idea what a kumquat is.
Take a look. It basically,
it's citrus, right?
It tastes like a little tangerine, but it's sour.
Nice. But
Do you have to peel it? Do you peel it?
Good luck peeling it. I quarter them. I cut them into quarters, and I just bite out the middle.
I love the name, right?
So he stole. All right, I get it.
Hey,
So
Frank, you want to go halfsies with me on some kumquats?
It's like $26. $26 for 2 pounds.
Does she know you guys are buying all of them?
It's a minimum of 2 pounds, so I paid $26. But I paid for them.
Like 5 of them.
No, he filled a Ziploc bag. It was probably a good 12 quats.
Oh, we had like a big bag?
Yes. He quatted out, bro. He said, hey, it's leg day. I'm going to work on my quats.
So he literally took a bag out of the pantry, a Ziploc bag, and put it in his pocket. And then said, oh, look. But then he didn't realize that people would notice that he took the bag out of his pocket like he premeditated taking it.
No, because he was talking to himself like a little kid does, taking out the Ziploc bag. And he's singing, I'm taking out the Ziploc bag as he's stealing the quad.
That sounds like that's a doesn't that sound, now I'm not bashing people, but doesn't that kind of sound a little bit like a little guilty sing song? Like,
yeah.
Right,
dude, the video is online, man. You can just pull it up and you can watch it yourself. Somebody made a Mario Brothers version of it. They took the audio and they put the Mario music, because once he had him in the bag, you know how you walk up to something. As soon as he got him, as soon as he got the quats, he started moving faster, as if not to get busted. So that's why quats are great, man. That's why we went out. We all bought them. We all bought the quats because it's like, this is how I feel about vegetarians. Sorry, you vegetarians out there, but for every hamburger you don't eat, I eat 3. The one you didn't, and the one you made me eat. So it's on you.
Nice. I'm with you on that, brother.
Does this woman know that you guys bought all these kumquats for this?
See, we had a theory about this because imagine Melissa, right? Honey, I want to start a kumquat business. No, baby. You know what? That shit isn't going to fly. I think if we put in time and then one day she gets a $300 worth of orders of quats, she's like, we